Good morning and welcome back to Good Morning KU Sports. We have missed being here in the studio after a month-long break, but we're here back and better than ever with a lot of action-packed content for you today. We'll talk all things women's basketball, from Caitlin Clark and her impressive impact on the sport to KU and how the Lady Jayhawks are doing so far this season. NFL Pick'em with Greenwald is back, and Eli Greenwald and William Wall will share what they think about the upcoming conference championship game, so it'll be a hectic weekend to say the least. We'll then transition to football and the chaos relating to coaching changes in college and NFL. A lot to cover there. Rounding out the show, we'll talk about men's college basketball players and how finding standout athletes is not how it used to be. We'll then toss it on over to another Good Morning KU Sports trivia show about all the sports you missed over break. Should be another fun one. Finally, we'll look at weather going into our weekend full of sports. Hope you got some good reporting for us, Sam. Let's get the show on the road.
Good morning, and I'm Katie. While much of the Midwest has been frozen the past several weeks, Caitlin Clark, she's been on fire. The Iowa women's basketball star continues to shatter scoring records and has been the face of college basketball this season. Through 20 games, Clark is averaging 31 points and just over 7 rebounds and 7 assists per game. But what makes Clark so effective is so much more than just numbers. Let's take a quick look at some of Clark's highlights and her impact this season. What makes Clark such a phenom is her ridiculous range from three. She's especially lights out from the left corner of the court and routinely pulls up from the logo. Her range is the parking lot and no shot is too deep. Secondly is her playmaking and passing ability. Clark's ability to find open teammates in transition is unreal, and her ability when double teamed to make passes off the pick and roll is incredible. And lastly, it's her clutch shot making and execution down the stretch in games that makes her a superstar. Here's a look at her game-winning three versus Michigan State early in January, which vaulted Iowa to 16-1 on the season. After a 45-point scoring barrage versus Ohio State, Clark moved fourth on the all-time women's collegiate basketball scoring list with 3,361 career points. She is just 221 points back of Kelsey Plum on the all-time scoring list and is predicted to surpass Plum on February 22nd, when Iowa still has 6 regular season games to go. Clark's stellar play has also led to Iowa selling out 29 out of 32 games this season, as fans around the country are traveling to see the star shooting guard in action. While the uncertainty of the tournament looms, one thing is for certain. Caitlin Clark is a star and will be the team and player everyone is watching in March. Now, let's head over to Lily, what is KU women's basketball looking like this season?
Thanks, Katie. Even though the KU women's basketball team has not had a totally ideal start to their season, the Jayhawks keep fighting for their place in the Big 12 among their tough competitors. Their record is currently 10-9 overall, but sit at 3-5 in conference games. The last time we saw the Lady Jayhawks was last month against West Virginia at home, where the Jayhawks lost with a score of 60-85. Senior Holly Chrisgeter led the Jayhawks with an impressive 19 points, while Tayana Jackson had 10 rebounds. The Jayhawks shot 43.4% from the free throw line, which isn't their best, but certainly not their worst. Through a few tough losses against Iowa State, Texas Tech, K-State, and Texas, the Jayhawks have had 3 wins this year against Baylor, Oklahoma State, and Iowa State. Winning 60-58, the women dominated the Iowa State Cyclones for a much-needed win. The Lady Jayhawks had 9 blocks and 3 steals and thankfully clinched the win, even with 13 turnovers. Back again, Tayana Jackson had a stellar game with 13 points and 15 rebounds. Even though the season has had somewhat of a rough start, the women will be back in action tomorrow night against Oklahoma in Norman. They have still yet to play BYU, TCU, Houston, and Cincinnati. You can watch the game tomorrow at 6 p.m. on ESPN+. After a short break, we'll be back with our first segment of Pick'em with Greenwald of the semester.
Natural Ties, a club full of friendship, community, and fun, pairing individuals in the Lawrence community with disabilities to KU students, in efforts to foster meaningful connections that last a lifetime. We host events bi-weekly on Wednesdays from 6 to 7 p.m. Some of our favorite events include Trunk or Treat, the Back to School Cookout, and Neon Night. Follow us on Instagram today and come join us to see how special Natural Ties truly is to us.
Welcome back from the break. I'm Eli Greenwald.
And I'm William Wall.
Welcome to the first segment of Picking with Greenwald for the semester. Thanks for joining us. And it's been a while. We're back. And today we're going to pick NFL Conference Championships. We got Ravens and Chiefs, Lions and 49ers. Should be an exciting weekend. Should be a good championship Sunday. So we're going to start with the AFC Championship. Chiefs in Baltimore against the Ravens. Will, what do you think about this game?
Well, I think the Ravens have got a good shot in this game. Their defense last week was fantastic against the Texans. They held the Texans to about 10 points. Lamar Jackson is having a phenomenal season this year, an MVP caliber season. And I think that, the only concern I would have for the Ravens might be the Kansas City defense, which has been very good this year, and their offensive line may not hold up. But for this, I think the Ravens have got it. KC last week, I didn't expect them to win against the Bills. I expect against the Ravens. But who knows?
Yeah, I agree. I think the Ravens are going to take this one at home. The Ravens have a good defense. The Chiefs don't have many wide receivers. They lead the league in drops. They have one of the worst receiving corps in the NFL. They have Travis Kelce, but I think the Ravens have enough defensive firepower to limit Kelce and force Mahomes to throw to the other receivers who aren't as well-rounded as Travis Kelce, obviously. And this is a different animal than the Bills. In Baltimore, against a good defense, against the most likely MVP in Lamar Jackson, I just don't expect the Chiefs to be able to hold on. Next, we travel to Northern California, NFC Championship. Lions, who no one thought would be here, in San Francisco against the 49ers. What do you think about this game?
Well, I think I've got the Lions for this one. I think for me, the Lions, there's a feeling with the Lions this year that feels there's maybe not a team of destiny, but it definitely, winning the division, winning their playoff games. There's a feeling of, this team feels like it's kind of a cohesive unit compared to, it's been a long time. And I think Dan Campbell really has built a very strong culture there. I think Deebo Samuel, who's 50-50, I think is very important for the 49ers. And if he's not in, Brock Purdy's going to have a lot of trouble. He's also going to need, the offensive line for the Lions is going to have to hold out because the defense for San Francisco has been excellent this year.
Yeah, it's the first Lions appearance in the NFC Championship since 1993. No one thought they would be here. Like you said about Deebo Samuel, number one wide receiver for San Francisco, he is 50-50 coming into this game with a shoulder problem. We're not really sure if he's going to play or not. I'm guessing he's going to be a game-time decision. I think it's going to be a good matchup. Lions, it's two good defenses. Lions are really good against the rush. What I'm really excited for is to watch that Lions offensive line who's been really, really good recently against that San Francisco front seven who's been one of the best in the league all year round. I think that it's going to be a really good matchup. I do expect the Niners to hold on, as the Lions' defense is very, very good against the run, not so good against the pass, which makes me think that they're going to really use that to their advantage in San Francisco. Even without Deebo, they still have weapons in Brandon Ayuk and George Kittle. So I expect this to be a good game, but I expect San Francisco to win. So I like the Niners. So thanks for tuning in this week to this segment of Picking with Greenwald. After a break, we'll be back with all things college football.
Missed the bus again?
Yeah.
You should download My Bus Lawrence. You can see when buses are arriving here, and you can also see where the buses are in Lawrence.
Wow. Okay.
Download the My Bus Lawrence app today.
Welcome back. I'm Ryan. Just a little over 2 weeks ago, the sports world was caught off guard by the announcement that legendary college football coach Nick Saban would be retiring. Saban is widely regarded as the greatest college football coach of all time and one of the greatest coaches ever, regardless of sport. He finishes his coaching career with an unprecedented 7 national championships, with one of them being at LSU and the other 6 at Alabama. Multiple high-profile Alabama players hit the transfer portal not long after his announcement, including wide receiver Isaiah Bond to Texas, freshman phenom safety Caleb Downs to Ohio State, and freshman offensive tackle Caden Proctor to Iowa. It was always a long-awaited hypothetical question of who would fill this legend's shoes and what the ripple effect of his retirement would be. After Michigan defeated Washington in the national championship game, Washington head coach Kalen DeBoer decided to take Saban's open position just 4 days after their loss. Arizona coach Jed Fish will take over in Seattle and bring most of his staff with him, continuing the Nick Saban ripple effect. Programs like Arizona, San Jose State, Buffalo, and South Alabama are all in the process of hiring a new coach, as their coaches are leaving for new jobs. All of this is a direct result of the Saban retirement. Not only has this changed college football landscape from a coaching perspective, the transfer portal has gone wild from these respective programs as well. Rosters from multiple programs will look extremely different in 2024, which just goes to show how big of a deal the coaching carousel is in college football these days. However, Michigan head coach Jim Harbaugh is taking the LA Chargers job, but Michigan is expected to hire in-house coach Jerome Moore. NFL football is looking kind of crazy with coaching changes also. Let's go to Luke for some more information.
Yeah, Ryan. Like you said, this season has been wild.
As this NFL season ends in just 2 more weeks, it has been nothing short of exciting and unpredictable. Many backup quarterbacks were getting their chance to shine, and 8 head coaches have been either stepped down or fired. Looking forward to next season, it will be fun to see which teams can make a turnaround with new coaches and which ones start to decline. What do all these head coaching changes mean for teams trying to improve or make the playoffs? Well, of the 8 teams that had head coaching changes, here are some of the big names that were let go and which teams are in desperate need of a good coach to improve. The 4-13 Patriots have parted ways with Bill Belichick after 23 years, having an all-time record of 266 and 121 with them as the head coach. Another all-time great coach, Pete Carroll, also parted ways with the Seahawks after they came up just short of the playoffs. Mike Vrabel was also fired from the Titans after their 6-11 season, but teams will be on the lookout to make him their next head coach. The team I think could potentially have a huge turnaround next season is the Los Angeles Chargers. After recently picking up the former Michigan head coach Jim Harbaugh, they will be in much better shape than the complete fallout they had under Brandon Staley. Coaching changes in professional football will affect the organization as a whole, as coaches will start to move from team to team. We're going to switch it up and talk about college basketball. Let's head over to Owen.
All right, thanks, Luke. If it were announced today that a new college basketball video game is being made, who would you choose to be on the cover? As you're cycling through the potential options, you're probably starting to realize something. College basketball doesn't have any immediately recognizable stars right now, besides, of course, Caitlin Clark. With men's college basketball, part of this is due to the parity that they're experiencing right now. Just a couple of weeks ago, about half of the top 25 lost to unranked teams, including 3 of the top 4 teams. At first, this doesn't seem like a problem, because parity is generally a good thing, and I think most of you guys would agree with me on that. But from a player marketing and pure entertainment standpoint, this is disastrous and actively hurting the growth of the sport. In the past, there were always a few players that you could look at that you could confidently say are superstars. Nowadays, there's no one you can point to that has the same widespread appeal that Zion Williamson or Blake Griffin did. The new rules in college athletics that allow players to profit off of their name, image, and likeness, or NIL, should, in theory, make it much easier to market individual players. And we've seen college football do this quite well, with the likes of Caleb Williams and Bryce Young appearing in commercials for huge brands like Dr. Pepper, Nissan, Wendy's, among others. But we just haven't seen that push in college basketball yet. It's not just a marketing issue, though. There simply just hasn't been a player that's exerted unquestioned dominance this year, even on the best teams and with NIL partnerships. For example, let's look at the current number 1 ranked team, UConn. Their top 4 players in points per game are Cam Spencer, Tristan Newton, Alex Caravan, and Donovan Clingan. All these guys are great players. I'm not saying that they're not. But with all due respect, they're not guys I would consider superstars. Of course, part of the essence and appeal of college basketball is that the focus is on how a team plays together, not just individual performances. My argument is that if we want college basketball to grow its audience and thrive, it could get a huge boost from marketing its players both on TV with commercials and on social media. Like, if you're at home and you turn on the TV and there's a Suns game on, and you're just a casual fan, you're not thinking, oh boy, I'm super excited to watch the Phoenix Suns. You're thinking, man, I'm hyped to watch Devin Booker, Kevin Durant, and Bradley Beal. For casual viewers, the players are the draw, not the team. The NCAA should learn from their professional counterparts and put more focus on their student athletes. It'll help grow the game we all love and hopefully create a more enjoyable product on the court. We're going to take a quick break, and then we'll be back with our own Good Morning KU Sports What You Missed Over the Break trivia.
Welcome back. My name is Cole Yancey, and I'm your host for What You Missed Over Break Trivia game show. Let's introduce you to our contestants, Will and Owen. We're going to have 3 quiz questions testing our contestants over different things that have happened over a break with our KU teams. How well have you two paid attention to KU sports the past month?
I stopped doing much KU stuff after football.
I tried to keep track, but we'll see.
All right, that's fair. Let's get started with question number 1. What was the score of KU's victory in the Guaranteed Rate Bowl over UNLV? Is it A, 27-17, B, 30-27, C, 40-36, or D, 49-36?
I believe the answer was D, 49-36.
Yeah,
a pretty high
D.
scoring affair.
Yeah, I believe it was very high scoring.
All right, you both got it perfectly correct.
Hey,
it is
let's
D,
go.
49-36. Destroyed them in the Guaranteed Rate Bowl. All right, question number 2. How many turnovers did our KU basketball team have during their loss to UCF? Is it A, 18, B, 13, C, 20, or D, 9?
I know it was a lot, but I don't know how much of a lot it was. I'm going to guess A, 18.
I'm going to say 20. Seems
All right, looks like Owen's taking the lead. It is
All right.
A, 18.
I got to keep my undefeated streak alive.
Let's see if you can do that with question number 3. Where is a location where our KU's women's swim team competed over break? Is it A, California, B, Branson, Missouri, C, Puerto Rico, or D, Hawaii?
When I think of swim teams, I think of Branson, Missouri. Yeah, but yeah, for me, I'm going to say D, Hawaii.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. I don't follow KU women's swim super closely. I probably should. But I'm going to dissent. I'm going to guess A, California.
All right, that's a shame you both got it wrong. It is
Oh,
C, Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico. Wow, that would have been a cool trip.
So,
Good.
now to announce the winner. It looks like Owen's kept his streak going. Another trivia W. And that's all the time we have today for our trivia section. Thank you so much for sticking with us to catch up with KU sports over the break. Will and Owen, thank you for playing. We'll be back with a weather update from Sam for all the sports going on this weekend after a short break.
See how angry students get when you leave your laundry in the washer or dryer without setting a timer? Don't be that guy. To help resolve this issue, contact housing@ku.edu.
Welcome back to Good Morning KU Sports. We are back with our familiar view here, looking to the northwest over campus. And you can see some of the residual just rainfall and light mist that moved through overnight. And now in shot we have a mostly leveled Memorial Stadium as well. We're sitting at 36 degrees right now, and it's been overcast for like the past few days, and those clouds are going to stick around throughout today as we have some light winds out of the north at the moment. And I want to look at the satellite here, as you can see the cloud cover that we have overhead. And on the east coast here, we have a cold front draping down across the Appalachians, bringing some pretty strong storms out in the Gulf right now. But the most important thing that I want you to pay attention to is On the New Mexico border with the Texas Panhandle, you might see a little bit of spin right there. That is going to be important for a big sporting event coming up this weekend. Now moving back here to campus, one hour by hour today, it's going to be in the upper 30s, overcast skies. We might reach 40. It'll be close, but those northerly winds are going to do everything in their power to keep that from happening. And for tonight, the clouds are going to keep the temperatures above 30, might be right around freezing for a low tonight. And once again, we have a chance of fog tonight. Seems like we've had fog, I know there was strong fog Wednesday evening that was intense. Might not be that intense tonight and tomorrow, but there's still a chance for some light fog to form. And tomorrow looks like it'll be a near carbon copy of today, right around 38 degrees and cloudy, before the sun peaks through Sunday and we get up to the mid-40s. So also on Saturday, the KU basketball team heads up to Ames to take on Iowa State and their stout defense. Weather, well, looks quite familiar. Overcast and low to mid-30s for that one as well. Now, back to what I was talking about with the system down in Texas. It forms Saturday evening and moves up towards Baltimore, Maryland for Sunday. Now, zooming into Baltimore here, this scan is through Saturday morning to Sunday afternoon. It starts to move gradually eastward, build into the DC and Baltimore area, especially Saturday night into Sunday morning, and it's going to linger around for the game time on Sunday. The best news for the game is the worst of the rainfall seems to be Saturday night into Sunday morning in Baltimore. But some showers are still going to be lingering around for game time. It shouldn't be enough to to impact the game severely, but it'll be just enough so that it'll be a nuisance and ball control will be important. Now moving back here to Lawrence once again. On Tuesday, the basketball team will take on Oklahoma State, a team they beat handily on the road in Stillwater a couple weeks ago. It'll be right around 40 for tip-off on that one, so good conditions there. Now for other sports, women's tennis will be taking on Arizona State and also be in action today and tomorrow in Columbus, Ohio. There is a chance of showers tomorrow evening, so that could impact some of the matches depending on, of course, if they're indoors or outdoors. But whether it be for the women's swim and dive or the women's basketball going on tomorrow and later next week, weather looks good for all of those. Going on to the 7-day forecast, again, tomorrow will be a near carbon copy of today before temperatures Sunday start getting up into the 40s. And then as the sunshine continues, we'll get back into the 50s once again for next week. And next weekend also is our next chance of precipitation, which I'll cover more in next week's show. Over to you, Ryan.
Thanks, Sam. Well, hey, that fog last week was pretty crazy, and one lesson for you folks, do not turn your high beams on when you're driving in fog. I tried to do that, and boy, was I in for the surprise of a lifetime. Reflection right in my eyes, don't do it. Anyway, that's all we got for you guys today. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Good Morning KU Sports. We are so glad to be back, and cannot wait to see you next week at 10 again. Tune in to Playmakers at noon, and rock chalk.